everyone. Hello, Nicole. Hello.
Hello, Eric. Hello.
I am so excited for today's Big Brother Canada recap show. One of my favorite people joining us.
I'm excited. I can't
I
wait.
am very excited, but I have to let everybody know first, wherever you guys are watching, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of your favorite places where we create content. Make sure that you follow, like, subscribe, comment, thumbs up, and hit the bell in YouTube. All of those things are great ways to help support the show, as is sharing it. We're live right now, so share it. Let people know that we're live. Tell them to come join the fun. Or if you're watching this in the future, share it then. Put it in your favorite Facebook groups or wherever you think people would like it. Of course, if you need to find my socials, Nicole's, the schedule, the socials for the show, or even Maddy, our guest today, check out our website, hellofriendspod.com. Check out that Find Us Live page. There, you can find it all. But what if they're listening to the podcast, Nicole?
If you're listening to the audio version, please leave a 5-star rating, a positive review, and again, share it with everybody. Put it in Easter baskets. How are you going to put it? I don't know. Write the name on a piece of paper. Take a screen grab of myself, Eric, and Maddy, and just put it with the peeps and the jelly beans and all that good stuff.
Yes, we're filling your Easter baskets with joy. Other things that fill me with joy, Nicole, is you introducing our guest.
Well, our friends, today is a guest that fills me with joy. I can't believe I've never met her. Eric calls her the Canadian me, or I'm the American her. I love peeps. She loves Canadian chocolate. It is the one, the only, the sweetheart, Maddy Poplett.
Maddy!
Hi, everybody.
Hello,
He-
Maddy.
Hello.
Hello.
Why
We're
did I
here
just
virtually together.
I know. Yay.
we are. It's so I was just thinking, what is Canadian hello?
Well, we have two official languages, so we could say bonjour instead.
No, we
Sounds
don't do
Korean
any
when you
French
do it that
around
way.
here. No.
But besides that, hello, hey, how are ya? I'm sure Newfoundland can chime in with quite a few greetings as well.
I meant like with the. Why am I literally drawing a blank? I like the Canadian accent of hello, like the Canadian accent. Am I making this up?
It's like, hello.
I mean,
Isn't it
I
hello?
don't
A
know.
boot.
Am
I'm
I
thinking
saying hello
about.
weird? You are.
I'm thinking of about when it's like a boot. I don't know why this
Sometimes
all came to me right now, as if we haven't had Canadian people all season and for the last 9 years. I don't know why it just came into
somebody
my head.
can ping it. If I say anything that's particularly Canadian, I'm sure someone can let us know.
I love
Keep
it.
track.
It's my favorite. A. Oh, A. Maybe I'm thinking of A.
I think that might, yeah, that could be it as well.
It's honestly, and I swear we're going to talk Big Brother. It's because I've been watching Making a Murderer, and they're from
Yeah.
Wisconsin. And every time they get on the phone to each other, they don't say hello. They just go, yeah. And yeah. That's how they call. I don't
Maddy,
understand
he's
it.
obsessed with the yeah. He can't get past it. Every time I talk to him, he's like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. No more hellos. Just, yeah, I'm just going to
I
pick up
think
the
if
phone.
I started doing that casually, my friends would be like, "Are you okay?"
Do it. You should do it. My other new thing is to be like, no offense. The other day someone came into the show and they were like, no offense, but I'm and then they just said something random. I forgot what it was they said, but they were like, no offense, I'm wearing a blue jacket. And so now my whole new thing is just like, no offense, we're starting the show. No, I'm just
Maybe
gonna
that'll
no
catch.
offense everything.
That'll catch on.
I
Something
know.
starts.
I
Someone
love
does
it.
something. Everyone thinks it's dumb, and then it picks up. Like, did I ever think I would be talking about vibing like every day? No.
No.
But I
Vibe?
do that now. So
What's vibing?
like something's a vibe. Like if you like going to a restaurant, that's like a good vibe. That restaurant's a vibe. I don't know. Pretty
You're
cool.
on TikTok, Nicole.
I heard of like my room's a vibe, but I never heard of like vibe.
Or something can pass the vibe check, like a tone of
Okay.
a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah, I like that. it wasn't for me for some time. I'm late to it, but now I think it's made its way into my vocabulary. It's because we spent so much time online the last little while.
Right. Well,
It's like sus.
and you're on TikTok too. You just ventured over to TikTok, right, Maddy? I mean, not like just
Yeah.
recently, but it's been you're fairly new to the TikTok world.
I've been lurking for some time now, as I'm sure many others have. But yeah, I'm still wondering how I'm gonna break into it. I think that I love such a variety of things on there. I watch what you guys put out. I watch what home decorators put out, and then all of these people going viral because they're so talented, just casually at home. So I don't know where I fit. I'll figure it out. Maybe cat videos. It's an option. I know Eric is just gonna. I was waiting. I was like, when can I bring up a cat? The fastest I can. Now he's upset.
I literally said to Nicole, because she did not like, she just started watching Big Brother Canada 2 seasons ago. So she missed your season. And I told her my all-time favorite moment from Big Brother Canada was when your friend called you on the stage with Arissa trying to like show you your cat. Well, your cat is attacking her.
Yeah, well, he was up late, past his bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is a cat.
And you know what? Yeah. We wanted a moment. Everyone loves drama. I didn't provide the drama I thought. He thought, you know what, I'm gonna hop in and add give you a little street cred,
He gave the cat fight that maybe like, you didn't during the seasons. He was like, I got this. Don't you worry, Ma.
No problem.
No problem. Well, one of the reasons I am so excited that you are here for this show is that, Big Brother Canada fans know you as a super fan, as someone that loves this show, someone that we all rooted for and loved. I think just before we get into this episode, I'm curious, as someone that's such a fan of this game, what do you think of this Invisible HOH twist this week?
Oh, it's cool. I feel like the first, and Nicole, I'm sure you can speak to this also. As soon as you're done, everything is like so intense. If you watch another season of Big Brother, even if you're already watching a season you've already seen, you just feel like you're living the experience so vicariously. It's, oh my God, if I was in this situation, I would be so stressed. And I think the first episode of this season kind of got me with the teams and everything to do with what to consider, if you were picked as a captain or if you were picked last or in the middle. And then after that, I feel like I finally could be like, okay, there's no need to hold on as strongly now. And now that I've detached a little bit, I think the Invisible HOH is the coolest. I think that's such an awesome change. It's not so outrageous that I feel like it's going to be something that they have to bring up often, like it's a pivotal thing. Like, how sometimes a triple eviction, especially in Big Brother Canada, our season was so bad for this. Every week we talked about the triple. Eric's like, yes, you sure did, all the time. So I feel like I like the level it's at. It's gonna influence things. Maybe if a secret comes out later, it could have an impact. But as of now, I just think it's a really cool week. And I think this is probably the first time I'm going through a season and there's nobody who I wouldn't root for. Like, I really genuinely enjoy all the personalities. It's a good bunch, but Vic is my favorite. So to see her win it, she is also from Hamilton, which is not far from where I live. Okay. So we're all like in the greater Toronto area. So I'm sure I'll be seeing her. I've chatted with the people running her socials and they're doing an awesome job. And it's just natural. I'm so excited for her to do well. But for any house guest to get Invisible HOH and have it be Victoria, big thumbs up for me. It was awesome.
Absolutely. That was my question. My question was, what are your thoughts on the cast overall? And you like them. So we really like Vic. What about like other people that are, oh my goodness.
I'll just take him down.
No, you can leave him. I mean, if he's blocking your shot. I love cats from afar.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
I'm sorry, we interrupted you.
No, but I want to know your thoughts on the other house guests, whether it be the ones that have already been evicted or other ones that are still in the house. Like, what are your thoughts on some of them?
Well, every year, my friends and I do like a really informal betting board. I don't even think we ever
Okay.
bet, like 1-0 before. So I had Latoya as my winner pick. I
Same.
thought she was the full package. It's not to say that she isn't. Like, of course, early game, like you don't know what could have happened. So I was so disappointed to see Latoya go. But at the same time, everyone who could potentially stay, I was excited for that. So it was really strange. I think that we have not seen this dynamic in a Canadian house yet.
I agree with that.
So many variables. It's not a predictable outcome. We have Jed and Ty in there as kind of like the two powerhouse boys who have yet to win. So who knows? I think that there have been nothing but surprises so far. Like, who would have pegged Rohan for 2 vetoes? Like,
Right?
it's awesome. So yeah, it's just pure entertainment, really awesome to watch. I've been a little bit less involved with the social media side of things. I'm not used to having surprises, but now I have had a few. So yeah, really cool. I hope that you guys feel the same way. I mean, I'm sure it's contagious.
I very much do. I see Nicole A fan says, I love how the twist concealed who the replacement nom could have been if the veto was used. I didn't even think of that factor actually originally. So I definitely like that one as well. And then I see Olive Oiled says, do you think it's going to be an April Fool's kind of a joke or twist tomorrow of, all right, nobody's going home?
Oh, I don't know. They've done
That's
some
my
pretty
theory.
savage surprises for April Fools in the past. We didn't have one, but we were terrified that we would. But that's like quite the twist. I don't know about that.
That's my biggest speculation, that all of a sudden it's going to be April Fools, here's the HOH reveal, or April Fools, nobody's going home, it's invisible because it never existed. And then just like,
It's too
restart.
bad.
That didn't even occur to me. This is like that's what I mean. They just have a good range of possibilities. Who knows?
Yeah. It's too bad this show didn't happen before I signed something, because I know.
He's so bad. Next.
Next. Okay, go ahead. Why don't you start us at the start, Nicole?
Okay, so at the start, the episode picks up right after the nom ceremony. Austin's upset. Her and Braden go up to the bedroom, and we have everybody coming in like a revolving door to check in on them, see how they're doing, and very, very different approaches by each person. We have people that kind of stay by the doorway and are like, "Oh, you guys okay?" We have the people that are like, "It's not me. It's not me. Wasn't me."
Yeah.
We have people that start fake crying, and we have people that jump on the bed on top of them and hold their hands like they're about to give birth. So what do we think of the approaches of the other house guests in like, hey, Austin, Braden, how you doing? Wasn't me, but how you doing?
Oh man.
Go ahead, Maddy. They hear from me all the time.
Well, I just think that in general, in the Big Brother house, you are trying to see yourself through the lens of others all the time, naturally. And then here comes this twist that like multiplies that feeling. So who knows what they would have done if Invisible HOH was not a factor. Like Beth flings herself in the middle of them as if each of them have been terminally diagnosed. Like I guess technically they have in the Big Brother world. But it's just like, would that have been the authentic reaction? It makes me just wonder. And then later on, as the game progresses and as they're building stronger relationships with the people who have left, I don't know, like, is this going to take a little bit of integrity away if someone finds out? I don't know. So I think that it was very theatric overall, for sure.
By people that are quote unquote innocent. You have Jed consoling them, but then being like, but it's not me. Like, I'd be like, all right, why is that relevant right now? And Beth jumping on the bed, I don't know how nobody in that room laughed. I think even if I was a nominee, I would have laughed. I would have been like, Beth, what's happening? Victoria's crying was, I thought it's obvious, but again, and Maddy, obviously you'll agree, when you're outside of it watching, it's so easy to go, she's fake
Oh,
crying.
yeah.
Like, obviously it's her. But when you're in it, people are dramatic, evidently. People cry, people get emotional for each other, people act sketch all the time. So you don't necessarily see it as much.
And they don't see the casual conversations. Like the stat that I think a lot of people will give that have been on the show is you're filmed for 168 hours a week and the public gets 3 hours plus commercials. So like, who knows what kind of follow-up conversations they might have had while they were making their breakfast that morning. Like,
True.
who knows the context of some of this stuff. So maybe some of them felt like they had to make up for lost time in reassurance, and it just came out very boldly.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, Maddie, the show viewers get 3.5 hours, but then the live feed watchers get like 4 hours.
Maybe they'll have insight then on like who was particularly suspect in that situation, because if people are coming in about to burst into tears about it but hadn't like interacted with them in a personal way for days, it's going to come across like, okay, well, why are you so upset?
Yeah.
I think the red flag, and again, it's very easy as an outsider looking in, but the red flag for me with Victoria would be the not hugging. And again, in the edited episode, they didn't show it, but to be like crying but not hugging, it's almost like, well, if you feel bad, come over here. Like, if you feel bad, like, but then again, I guess if Beth barrel-X through the door, I'd be like, well, maybe it's not Vic.
Yeah. True.
And
Go ahead.
sorry.
Nope.
It's the peeps, guys. I had so many peeps. Okay. So, okay. After this, we have the whole Jed, Ty, Beth, and Kiefer celebrating, and they're all excited. Even Jed and Ty admit this was kind of a missed opportunity. Why would somebody not put us up as a duo? Yes, it seems as though Ty is being framed, but at least none of us are on the block. This is great. And what's amazing is we see Kiefer celebrating with them, like, yay, all 4 of us are safe, yay. And then go to Victoria and be like, deny. I know the truth, just deny it. What are our thoughts on Kiefer and how he's been playing, how he's currently playing, and where he is maybe situated in the game?
I think it's hard to say without the context of a lot of feed updates for me. Like, it's so weird. I'm not used to this. He holds so much information. So I don't know if he's responsibly keeping it to himself, if he's decided to utilize any of it. Like, maybe you guys can fill me in. I don't really know what his current game plan is, but it's strange to see a player that has that much information keep it to themselves. So it would be unusual if he did.
Well, the first thing that I will say is if any of you need 24/7 live feed updates, you should check out at BBCAN9 live feeds over on Twitter. Our live feed updaters are filling you in all the time and are such an amazing group of people. He has kept it to himself.
Wow. What?
That's incredible. It's incredible. And Maddy, between myself and Eric, you have like the two sides of the spectrum. Like, I'm more so edited episode. I like to see how they're depicted on that aspect, and Eric's more in with the feeds, watching day in, day out to get more of that side of it. So we kind of, I don't know, balance each other with our opinions of how it's edited versus how it's really happening.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay. I
It
feel
does.
like important to consider both of those things, because from an insider's perspective, I can almost hear like, please don't talk about production, but watching produced episodes and seeing some of the potential favors, I won't say favorites as of yet, I think it might be early to say, but who they feel has been providing them really great content versus potentially what we could be seeing on the feeds. Like, who knows, maybe later on there'll be a twist and it won't be as surprising. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
As a live feed watcher, Maddie, I have to let you know and find out what your thoughts on this. They are using Oreos as their cheat sheet study guide tool.
Really?
Yes.
Does Oreo have multiple meanings?
No, but I saw Ty, I believe it was Ty and Jetson were studying using Oreos yesterday, and I was just like, that's not a good plan.
Yeah, I don't know. I was maybe too detailed with mine, so maybe I could have thrown an
So
Oreo in
detailed.
there and saved myself a headache.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like that's, I don't know. I won't judge. Maybe they've got a system one of us hadn't thought of, but
what
For-
if someone eats an Oreo and then ruins your whole
yeah,
system?
or
Better be, I need them.
like macaroni, like
Yep.
that mixed nut. Yep.
I was gonna say the way that Maddy did it on her season was with different pastas on her bed. And
Yeah,
then
I
people
had a
would sit on her
calendar.
bed.
Well, yeah,
Nobody,
but if I
like,
could have put the
nobody
calendar back,
moved it.
people would move
Nobody
it. And
touched.
I would also tell who went in the room and changed it to try to
Mhm.
trick me. If you went into the room soon after someone left, you could see if someone had changed your calendar. Everybody changed it. I would
Oh.
change someone's calendar too. So that's, yeah, not something to get personally upset about. Ryan would also walk and do laps around the house. It was kind of his way of what he said was exercise, but he would look around to see who was in which room and kind of get like a scope on that stuff in the house. And he would put a timer on the microwave to track his 45 minutes, let's say. So I'd wait till he was upstairs and he couldn't hear me touching the buttons of the microwave, and I would reprogram the time on the microwave because I didn't want him to have a sense of how long 45 minutes was. Because in
Smart.
Canadian Big Brother, there are
Yeah.
a few competitions where you have to record 100 minutes with your own like internal timing. So I didn't want him to feel like he had a good concept of time.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
smart.
but season
That's very
6 was
smart.
full of some crazy people, some really intense humans in that house. So I'm sure someone had more diabolical stuff going on than I did.
I think
Wow.
it was a fun season. It was a fun season. Your season was a fun season. I remember it being a fun, good season. That's all.
I mean, that's what it is, though, too.
That's all. I loved it. We got a lot of really good people out of your season.
But on that note, so I'll stick this in here, which came out inappropriate, but I didn't mean it that way. Okay to show off on Instagram had a question for you that we wanted to ask. They said, if you could have been on any other season, which would it have been and why?
Easy answer. Season 3, 100%. I feel like of the alumni, it is like we have an unusually awesome alumni. They just keep pumping out cool people every year. I don't know how they find them all. But season 3, so my current boyfriend Bobby is from season 3. I know we would have clicked in the house 100%. Yeah, so that's a story.
Sweet.
So his season is just full of like really genuine people. I feel like I would have clicked with quite a few. Ashley and I are good friends. Peely and I are good friends. Kevin and I are good friends. Like now, even though some of those inter-alliances, how that season turned out, obviously didn't happen, Bruno and I get along so well. Like I keep thinking of more people. Sarah Hamlin. Anyway, you get it. They were amazing.
That's cool.
I really would have loved to see how I could have fit into that mix. And what I really wanted in the Big Brother house was to have one person like completely devoutly like in trust with, and Bobby would have been that person for sure. So if I could rewrite,
I would hope so.
That's what I would do. Well, yeah. I mean, it turned out okay in the end. I guess maybe I wouldn't change a thing, but
it would
overall,
be bad if you were like, I can't trust that liar manipulator in the game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but you can't say that though. Like in a game, first time meeting years ago is different from like where you're at now.
Yeah,
Oh,
you don't owe anyone anything. Although I would say that I would like to go back in time, stay this age and personality, and do that because I would have been I think I would have been 22 in that house, and like, oh no, thank you, do not put that girl on.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
I see that Hannah Zan in chat says season 6 was a great season. So there are a lot of people that loved your season. I feel like your season was the last. It was definitely the last one I went to Canada for. Pretty sure, didn't I?
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
not.
because COVID. Well, no, season 7. I don't know what happened with season 7. There wasn't a lot of like additional like media, I guess. And then for us, it was a blur, but I think a lot of people did come down for our finale.
And
I have a question.
We're gonna have it
not
this
related.
year. God. Yeah, God.
It's not related at all. But because you were on season 6, so there's been like 7, obviously 8 was kind of cut short, but it's still a full cast. And then this season, like I guess this is weird, but like, what's that like when you're an alumni and then it's like newbies and they come out into the world? Like, is that really exciting to like be like, hello, family?
Yeah, it's genuinely one of the best parts of the whole experience. I do think that if I hadn't really felt kind of closure on my own experience until season 7 ended, because like we talked about earlier and even in this, like it's really hard to not vicariously experience all of those things. So you're doing that and you're going through the ups and the downs and you're so invested in the internet still and everyone's making these comparisons and whatever. Then you meet everybody and you're like, oh yeah, we're all a bunch of humans that put ourselves out there to do this. It's interesting when you meet alumni, whether as an alumni or as a newcomer, because you all know each other, but you never met, similar to you and I today, Nicole. And I guess Eric, but we've chatted so many times that I feel like we have. So yeah, it's all just like a bunch of hugs. And then to be able to speak to them about their experience, to kind of guide them through some of the ups and downs. Equally, the ups and downs are hard sometimes. And just like lend an ear to them if they need someone to talk to who they know would understand is like really fulfilling. It's awesome. And also reaching out to any of the people who run the accounts on behalf of the house guests while they're away. I've actually made some really great friends. So that Okay to Show Off account who asked the question, I actually know them. They're friends of Kira, got third place in season 7. Friends of Kira's sister. So that's like, it's crazy, awesome. Like these connections that you make while as an alumni. So yeah, super fun.
I love it.
There can be some horrible people on Twitter that, spread negative things. So it's great when you get, nice people over on Twitter.
For sure. And it just provides some context, like hearing it from someone else and then being able to give that advice. Like all you have to do is consider the source of like where the negativity is coming from, and it kind of makes you go, oh yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. But it takes a little while to get to that point of like closure and clarity on it. So as much as you can help someone, like I had so much help, even saying season 3 is such an easy answer because I feel like I click so fast with that cast, like, but so many others, and then having Bobby to like talk to me through these experiences, good and bad, is like been super helpful. So anything I could do, and I'm sure Nicole, like you're gonna find the same thing as more of the US seasons come along. It's like really, it's you'll click with some people that it's like, how have I not known you forever too?
That's awesome. I look forward to it, but I'm nervous about it because obviously there's been kind of one and then another one of Canada seasons that I have this sense of like a familial bond, and I reach out to everybody and I connect with them. But like knowing the next US season is coming, like the weather's getting nicer. I know they're in finals week. Like I'm just like, like it's like I don't know. I'm creeped out by it. Like I'm excited, but I'm also like, no.
I think it will pleasantly surprise you because I definitely felt that way too coming into season 7, and especially because you can count your year by like the check marks of like, okay, they're gonna be, like you just said, they're in finals right now, so that means that they're feeling this way and all that stuff. So yeah.
And to that point, I mean, I won't give away too many details, but I have a feeling Nicole and I will have a very special Hello Friends episode for all of you, either Friday or Saturday. And that's all I can say so far. But it will be BB23 related.
It will be.
Okay.
It's gonna be a good one. It is. So okay, go ahead, Nicole. So this is what we do on these shows. We sidetrack off of the show into random conversations. That's what people love.
And now we're gonna row our boat back over to Row, who during the edit, I don't know how many times he said it on the feeds, but during the edit said it 1, 2, 3, 4 times that if he won the veto, he would take Austin or Braden off of the block. Obviously it's always different in theory than it is, it's always different in practice than it is in theory. How do we feel about him promising it, and then being like, no.
I will just say my only comment is you can cash. You can bounce checks in the Big Brother house.
Yeah. I don't know, like he's in an interesting position, especially with the Invisible HOH. Obviously he's not eligible to be nominated, so now he's happy that he won the veto because who knows, and all this stuff. I don't know. I feel like each week determines the difficulty for the veto winner. Like there's so many things that could go into it. Sometimes it's so straightforward. In this case, it wasn't. I don't know. It's a mixed bag of how I feel about him not using it. But yeah, not great. Bounce that check. That's for sure.
Bounce it all the way. Go ahead.
No, I get about bouncing checks, and I guess it's because like, oh, you know, his first experience. I think if this were to happen again, he would know, like, I'm not promising anything till after it's played. I think it's one of those things where, oh yeah, of course I will. Of course I will. Not thinking, okay, but what if I actually did? What are all like the different caveats? So I think if in a future week this were to happen, or let's say a future season he comes back, I think he'd be a lot more like, oh, I don't know. We'll have to see how the veto goes. There's a lot of like components. Or think it through before he gives his answer. I think he was just too quick to be like, yeah, of course, why not? Why wouldn't I? And then afterwards, oh crap, that's why I wouldn't.
Well,
it wasn't a stock raiser, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, you never say no in Big Brother. That just makes you a like, and everybody knows that. I just feel like that's the unspoken Big Brother thing. Obviously, you don't say no if someone's like, you want to be an alliance?
No, but I'm not saying say no. I'm just saying word it differently. Like he could have said, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be great if I won it? Just leave it like that. Or, oh, I'd love to win it. I'd love to help you guys out. Or, oh, I really hope you guys are safe. Like you can word it where it seems like you're validating someone, but you're not. So if they're like, oh, if you win it, will you take me down? And you're just like, oh, I really hope I win it. Love you guys. And walk out of the room.
Gotta make some food. Yeah.
So if Nicole plays again, corner her and be like, I'm gonna need you to confirm, Nicole. Did we like
explicit statement?
Yes. Did we like the picks for POV, speaking of it?
I mean, they're cuties. It was, I don't know. It freaks me out to start considering like so many variables. What could have happened? I think that it could have gone a lot of ways there. Poor Braden, he had a hard time with his little beam.
That can be tough. It's just if your brain doesn't work that way, like if you're more of like you're not a puzzle person, or if just that day you're just not having a day. Like I was feeling for him because that sucks.
We didn't really have anything like that on our season, like a complete the task. Like, I don't know, like the beam thing to make the puzzle cool. We sort of, anyway, I just remember I said to Bobby, I was like, this is a neat comp. I would have liked to try this one. Probably would have gotten second place, which happens all the time.
I loved Victoria picking herself.
Weird. Very weird.
She has something about her this season, like, I don't know. That's awesome. I love her.
I think production loves her. Go ahead, Nicole.
Yes, I think production loves her because, again, they're producing a show and she is a hell of a character on a show. But also, I love her reaction on the couch to when Victoria, she's like, what? Me? Like, I was like, even just that, like, sometimes I think, is it too much? Is somebody going to see through it? But in that instance, I was like, that's very impressive not to be like, oh, yeah, it's me. I picked my name earlier.
I just think I look at a comp like this one that they did, and I flash back to Caitlin Herman and go, you couldn't do a 6-piece puzzle.
No. 3D puzzles are extremely, extremely difficult. Puzzles can be easier. 3D puzzles, again, if your brain is not seeing it the way you're supposed to be seeing it, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of 3D puzzles.
6 pieces, and it's a person. And the 4 of the pieces were leg, arm, and then I think head, body.
Alone.
We don't need to relive it for poor Caitlin. I'm sure she does. Every time goes into like so Raven vision.
Oh, she really has the best sense of humor about it. I talk to Caitlin often, and I will always be like, hey, 6-piece. Be like, go to McDonald's. Should I get a 6-piece chicken nugget? Or I do it all the time.
She must not be getting into it if she keeps messaging you.
Yeah. Row 1. Yay!
Yay, row! Second
What do
week
you
in a
guys
row.
think about the veto necklace this year? Have you covered this yet?
It's hideous.
What the heck is going on with that string?
It doesn't do that all the time. It's not like that every season.
Normally they have a chain, but
Okay.
this time, like an intern I don't know, they always have such stunning like sets and costumes and everything. So I feel like that necklace part of the veto with the sprigs on it, like who chose that? Like it's gonna fall apart. So someone's gonna be fixing it. I just think it looks odd. And that is something I wanted to get off my chest. So thank you for the platform today.
But is it always a V?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a problem with it in general. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be honest. I think it is a very, very long necklace with a very, very big V. And especially if you're like a shorter woman, like I just feel like it's like vagina. Like that's all. Whenever they're doing the ceremony, all I'm thinking is like vagina. That's all I think of.
That is a good point.
Like it's just like there it is. It's weird. I don't know. Eric, please say something.
Oh, here's what I'm saying, Nicole. We are at the 36 minute and 12 seconds is where you gave me the soundbite for the soundboard of I love vagina. So thank you. Oh no, you said I'm always looking at vagina. Whatever you just said, I have the timestamp and we'll all be hearing it again. Don't you worry.
That's so inappropriate.
I'm not offended.
Thank you, Maddy.
Positive vagina commentary out of there. That's fine.
No, it is fine. I'm always looking to add to my soundboard. Then in the interest of being honest, because obviously, and I've said this all along, I love the Big Brother Canada houses so much more than the BBUS houses. I feel like so much more goes into them. The only thing I like better about the BBUS house is the backyard. That being said, and maybe it's just that I've been in the Big Brother Canada houses, but whatever. That being said, I, with all due respect, just feel like this season, they were like, really didn't get to use last season's set.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to Michael's and we're going to get all that plastic ivy. And we're just going to hot glue it onto everything. So that's why the chain has it. But yeah.
Like it's gotta be dusty because it gets so dirty in the house. Never mind like a group of humans hanging out, but depending on what they've chosen for the set in the backyard, because the backyard, like for you guys in the US, you have that amazing sliding door and it's like a smaller entry. But when they set up comps for us, for example, they did Tomb Raider, I think on I want to say day 8, but I'm losing that information now 3 years later. They had dirt everywhere on the ground. And through the cleanup and everything, it was just impossible to make sure that there wasn't dirt being trucked into the house. So it took us weeks, I feel like, to like recover and request a broom and a mop to clean it. And same thing for the US backyard. Like it's awesome. I feel like it's just a little more self-contained and you know, you get more sun and everything. So I don't know how it's going for them with this set because they have so many additional just like dust catchers happening in there, and I don't know. And we were pretty clean as a house, so that was like a large concern. So I feel like I noticed that right away, and I agree with you. It feels like a big Michael's Hall.
Right.
Amen.
I did not think of it from that perspective, and that's very, very valid. That it's probably so dusty. Like our house would get so dusty because obviously the high ceilings, the equipment, the lights, the cameras. And I shouldn't say I'm giving myself more credit, but Kat especially would go around dusting like the window mirror sills and everything. And everything was so dusty. So those like ivy leaves and everything, they're probably, that's going to be tough. That's going to be, Ooh. Oh, I feel bad for them now.
But wasn't your season the flower wall?
Yeah.
There. So, you know the fake flowers, Nicole?
Yeah.
Roses.
Just imagine walls of those. So that, but big ones. So talk about dust.
And we would try to rip them off sometimes, thinking that there was like a message behind or a secret card. And there was like one ivy sticker they had that went, I'm sure Eric is like, holy crap, I remember you guys obsessing over that stupid thing ended up nothing. We had also, our bathroom had clouds. So we had cotton glued to these cloud-shaped lights, I guess.
What?
After traffic and after 60 plus days in the house, they just started shedding. And when Johnny was still in, he kept trying to fix them. He's like, it makes me a little sad. I'm gonna just tuck them in. Nicole, you'd love Johnny. You two would get along.
Oh yes, she would love
Why
our
not
little
Johnny?
butterfly of death. She
You
would
want
not.
of death?
Yeah,
I'm
see,
just-
she wouldn't like that.
But you would, though. It was such a great caricature he created for himself.
You
I
would
feel like
love
do I know
Johnny.
of him? Johnny. I feel like I know the
No.
name. No?
No, I don't think that you know him. He doesn't really talk a lot that I've seen lately about Big Brother
Oh.
Canada on social media. So,
Oh.
but no, but we should have him on.
We should. But see, we had that too. We're getting on tangent, but in the All-Star house, we had a carpet rug, whatever you want to call it, in the bathroom. And I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but a film would just come off it
Ew.
every day, and it was get kicked up by the traffic. And it doesn't matter how many times all of us would try to kick it up, sweep it, it just kept on shedding, and it always looked horrendous. It was gross.
Love it.
Yeah, it
Inside
was.
scoop, all the people listening that want to make it on the show one day. It is weird. You wouldn't
It's
find
so-
those things in your own house.
And I'm sure the people that want to make it on would be thrilled to
Mhm.
have to deal with it.
I
Until
was.
they're in
It
it.
never lost on me.
I wouldn't. I remember the one time when they were doing the press photos for our Big Brother and they showed Julie Chen in the bathroom and the floor was sand because it was like a beach theme. And I literally
Yeah.
said out loud looking at it, I think I would just start volunteering for the block. Like the level to which I hate sand and you never get like I won't go to a beach.
Well, wait. Does your hatred of sand outweigh your hatred of wind?
They're equal.
Oh,
But
okay.
I can avoid the
Beach.
sand and I can't avoid the wind.
True.
He hates
Like
the
he-
wind, Maddie. He'll be on the phone with me and he's like, freaking wind's blowing right now. It's in my way. It's pushing me. And I'm like, Eric, it's the wind.
That
Very
is
aggressive.
Colors.
unique, I will say.
The wind lately has been stronger than it's ever been before. I'll just be sitting there. Wind gusts will be knocking into me like chairs are flying across my yard. And I'm like, when did this
Well-
become a thing? Anyway.
I think the wind has always blown so far in my experience.
Not
But-
that hard. But Courtney over in chat says, Ro had a good idea lining up the balconies in this competition.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Yeah,
that was a good strategy that he had.
I agree. His brain, like I said, saw it, was able to map it, and he did it quick. One thing I thought was interesting was the check. I'm used to the hit the button and it's like ding 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 or
Yeah.
eh. I was weirded out by the check.
I
And
wonder who
no,
checked
you're
it.
wong, do it again. Check.
It's
Very
COVID. They don't got
amazing
time
race.
for a buzzer.
I guess that's true. Maybe that's why it is. But I thought that was interesting to hear. But so obviously we have Ro win the veto. From here, we have Victoria talking to Austin and Braden, and Austin and Braden kind of give their plan of, who should we put up as a replacement nom? Let's try to get Tara up there. We backdoor her. Vic essentially immediately, or at least that's the way the edit made it look, runs to Tina and Tara in a way to, stop people from thinking a replacement nom, stop Ro from using it, kind of plant all the seeds. She goes to Tina and Tara and is like, Austin and Braden are throwing you two under the bus, saying you're the power duo. You two should go. And it works. Fires Tara up. Tara's like, if Austin thinks this is going to work, she has something coming to her, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Everybody's fired up. And what amazes me, and this is a testament to Victoria's game, her placement in that house. How did she know Tara wouldn't run back and be like, Austin, Braden, what the hell?
Yeah. I
Like
found that.
nobody's comparing notes. Like everybody's like, okay, Victoria.
Mhm.
I will say as the live feed watcher, Tara
Oh.
tells everyone's business to everyone and everyone just thinks she's full of
I was
shit.
gonna say.
So she didn't
Oh.
care. Tara will just everyone knows that all Tara does is walk around all day and say stuff to people from other people. Like, it's to the
Wow.
point where nobody
Yeah.
believes her anymore, I feel like.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Touche.
Well, there you
Mm-hmm.
Touche.
go.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I think it was
Victoria's
recently
incredible.
after because she was still in her comp gear. Like she was still wearing her
Yeah.
same outfit. So it must have been relatively soon after. She just sprung to action, seemed to know
Yeah.
the right way to do it. So yeah, I agree, Nicole. That's like telling. She's obviously doing something right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
She
she's all
goes to people and they listen. It's credible. She's a credible source that people go, okay, Victoria, thanks.
Hmm.
she's also a big complainer, that Tara. She loves to complain. Like when her TikTok was like, the fridge is dirty. Like that's all she does. Like,
Oh,
I cannot
Yeah.
believe people are not trying to get her out based on the amount that she just complains during the day. And by the way, I loved her after who was my pick to win? Why do I forget people's
Toya.
names already? Yes, Latoya was my pick to win. I said I was gonna love Tara after
yeah,
Latoya. Nope. I mean, I love her as a person, but I mean, like in that
yeah.
house, in the game, I am just floored to see how different her personality is when you're watching her on the feeds.
Mhm.
She's
Wow.
she's a striking character. But here, because I know we are coming to the end of the show. But here is something that I would love to hear from both of you. And I did see people were asking it on our social media. But you two, as people who have played this game before, what do you think the real world ramifications will be for Victoria for lying about this? Do you think that the majority of the cast is going to take it as that's Big Brother, that's the game, you did what you had to do, you made good TV?
Hmm.
Do you think they're going to be upset about it? Or let's more specifically say Brayden and Austin. How do you think they're going to handle it when they find this out?
I think it'll depend on what they themselves had to do at some point,
Yep.
and they will judge the way they would to like to be judged if somebody played extremely honestly and extremely loyal and loyal to the soil hashtag all the time. That's fine. And like that's the style of Big Brother and it's
Yeah.
clearly successful. We've seen amazing players who, look at Dane and Anthony, like there you go, there's a great example. Like it can happen. So they're probably just gonna see Victoria through whatever lens they hope others see them too.
Yeah. That's what I would say. I would say it's case by case. Yes, we're watching them on episodes or on live feeds, but you're not in it. And you're also postseason, you're not in people's interdynamics and relationships and personalities. What I would say is it's case by case. If somebody, I think Austin and Brayden would have a harder time initially finding it out and trying to move past it.
Yeah.
But I think they're mature enough to see it as a game and eventually move past it. But I do think, again, it depends on people's maturity and if they're able to let it go. Because there are some people, unfortunately, that do harp on
Yeah.
the game affecting real life. There's other people that maybe take some time, then get past it. So I
Mhm.
think it's case by case. And I don't know Austin or Brayden personally to know if they would be really, really butthurt to the point of like, don't talk to me. But you have to see it for what it is. It's a game. It
Yeah.
sucks, but you have to respect it and be like, okay, touche, you got me.
I think our season coming out of it were particularly mature. Like I think a lot of people, like we all genuinely do get along still, which I think is kind of rare. So I think that is something that I would like to say. Everyone's going to see it as this game and move on and get to know each other personally because you've all shared this really unique experience together. But like you just said, we don't know what's in Brayden. We could see, but one of them is going to stay, right? So who knows what the Lone
True.
Ranger now that wasn't a duo is going to have to do to succeed. Like maybe they're playing so loyally right now, but maybe a pivot is their only path and they're going to have to. So maybe they'll be able to see things from Victoria's point of view later on. Who knows what other twists are coming? Yeah,
Very true.
we shall find out. We'll have them here. You guys can tell us, get them to say.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. That's a great point. If you guys have any questions for Austin or Braden, you should tweet them to the Hello Friends Twitter or post it on the Hello Friends Instagram. Any of your questions for them. But that is a great question. Will they, if they were to find that out, because I doubt, because we do get to talk to them, when they get evicted, but I'm
Yeah.
sure we're not allowed to tell them who
No.
the so I think we would just have to word it as, will you be upset when you find out who it was?
Are they already
But
going to jury now?
it is jury now, I believe, isn't
Is
it?
it? Right now there's
I haven't
4.
checked.
Is pre-jury 4 or 5?
Because we had 7 jury members on our season. So if they're doing 9, it would be jury. But if they're going for 7,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like most seasons it's 4 in the real world, then jury starts. But you're right. Wouldn't Arissa have said if jury was starting?
I think we need
they
one more
always
eviction.
tell us. Yeah.
It's true. They don't tell us.
Uh-uh.
I will just say that Yuri Girl 04 says, I think Austin's gonna be pretty pissed. I will say over on the live feeds, she was kind of really mad after the POV ceremony. However, like Lexton said, Austin said it would be a good game move on the episode and that she would understand. So
Exactly.
I guess we'll see what happens with her in the real world.
Yeah.
I think most
Now,
people get past it.
I think most people do get past it as well. I did see that Becca, but I think you might have said this before, but I saw Becca asking, who is your pick to win now? Or you said Latoya was, but now out of who's left, who's your pick to win?
I think, I don't know. It could go so many ways.
Who do you think's
As
in a
much
good
as
spot?
I don't know what she has to, I like Tina. Like, what's
Yeah.
she gonna do? She's in one of the best positions I've ever seen, I think, in Big Brother Canada. But I have no idea what she would bring to the table comp-wise, which will eventually be necessary. Is she studying? Like, do we know if she's studying? Have you seen her?
The problem with Tina is this. She's glued to Tara.
Yeah.
She never detaches from her long enough to, in my opinion, make her own game moves or game plans. So a lot of
now.
her game is hinged to Tara, and I think that will be Tina's downfall. But are they in a good spot? Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're in a good spot at the moment.
I don't know if I would commit to Tina as a winner. I'm just like so unsure of what she could bring. That would be a fun, like,
Yeah.
further chapter. I think she will make it far for sure. Because obviously Tara is out first if the circumstance allows. There's not like
Right.
a rogue veto that changes that or whatever. I would say that Ty is in a great spot because I think that within his trio, he would gain the most favor with the jury at this point.
Right.
He hasn't had to burn bridges yet, nor have Jed or Beth. But I just feel like when it comes to Jed and Ty side by side, Ty has that friendly demeanor. Although people are now suspicious. Yeah. Again, like without feeds, it's hard to say. But I think when I look at that trio from an outsider's perspective and limited additional knowledge, he seems as if he would have the most favor for a vote in a final 2 at this point.
Yeah.
I can see that. And again, going back to how you were saying Tara would probably go home over a Tina, I think Jed would go home first over a Ty. I mean, Jed already has like one comp win, that one veto, but I think he would go home over him. I think Beth is somebody that sketches a lot of people out at times. So I think of the 3, Ty is in the better position.
And if Beth and Jed are like regularly fooling around now, that is better for Ty's game because within the trio, Beth and Jed will be more conspicuous and more likely to be separated. So
true.
And he'll have a solid ally left over.
Yeah.
True.
And I mean, I think as fans, most fans are not happy with Beth in the last 24 hours. If you wanna Doot to doot to doot. This is not like spoiler because I doubt this is gonna make the show. But
Nope.
apparently Brayden and Ty did a little nighttime canoodling of leg rubbing and neck kissing.
Okie
And
dokie.
Beth was very much telling Ty and Jedson, like, you need to use this. You need to manipulate his feelings for you. Yeah, like, and then they all kind of laughed about it. So
Brother,
I
but
know.
that is a borderline like personal interference. So I think it depends where you fall. I
It's
haven't
the
seen any of the comments or clips, so
It's the only time in the game that I completely say I'm a hypocrite. I always say everything is fair, it's Big Brother, yada yada yada. But and I've only really seen it happen in Big Brother Canada. I don't like when the guys flirt or pretend to have feelings for the and obviously I'm saying that is personal, obviously, but I don't
yeah.
like when they do that for a game, and I realize I'm a hypocrite because if I would be defending the girl doing it to the guy and be like,
Well, that's
that's
the
the
thing.
game.
That's what I would say is, what
Yeah.
Beth said it in her opening package. She was like, I'm gonna flirt with all the guys, whether I want to be with them or not. Like, that's how I'm gonna get in good with everybody and make good connections. And she's still joking about like, oh, I'm with Jed and Ty, more so Jed, but I flirt with Ty. I think that says more about like social norms and everything. Like, that is something that
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, that's her strategy, flirty girl. Whereas this is like, oh, that's messed up. And it's like you're saying, Maddy, it's kind of like where you fall and where
Yeah.
you personally put the line in the sand. And is all fair in Life War and Big Brother, or do certain things cross a line? So it's very messy, and I don't like it. I think it's very wrong. But you guys know I bring a lot of personal, that's not
Well,
right.
it
That's not right.
relates
That's right.
though to the question that you said earlier. Like, is someone going to be upset when they find out that it is Vic and that she did, have disposable options and was verbal about it? Like that, to some would be very personally offensive, and it is totally up to each individual player how they want to process and feel those things after. Everything's valid. Eric, I'm with you. Everything should be fair. But then again, like, it's hard. Like, that is almost not keeping it within the house. Like, that's like
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, it's hard
No,
to
it's
comment
hard.
without having read it all.
All I say is, and I say this at the beginning of every Big Brother season, hey everyone, it's a Big Brother season, and I reserve the right to be a hypocrite because the game changes
yeah.
every 5 minutes.
Yep.
But I always try and stick true to, everything's fair in this game, and don't attack people in the real world for anything that they do in a game for money. Like, I don't. That's my thing. But I know we need to.
Nobody knows each other. Like, they don't owe each other
Yeah.
anything. That's why
No.
if you
No.
have predetermined relationships, it's completely different. Like,
Right.
Yep.
so different. Nicole,
Yeah.
you'd understand that as well. Like,
Yep.
I think that is such a separate dynamic.
100%. I know that we need to wrap it up with the POV ceremony, Nicole.
Yep.
So how does it all end?
It all ends with Ro getting up in front of the room. Brayden pitches himself, Austin pitches herself, and Rohan says, I'm not using it. Noms have stayed the same. So we still have Austin and Brayden on the block. So we know this duo is going to be split up. What I find, for lack of a better way to word it, exciting is I want to see how the other person stands alone. This is a season of duos where people have like, and I don't mean this in a rude way, I just mean it in a figurative way, like one brain between them. I want to see how a Brayden would function without an Austin or vice versa. I want to see how Tina functions without Tara or vice versa. So it's sad, but it's also like, well, how will the other person bounce back, if at all?
Season keeps delivering. We don't know.
Well, I have to say that we loved having you stop in,
Yes.
Maddy,
Thanks,
and
guys.
I
It was
know
so
that
fun.
they know that your Twitter is private, but where do you want people to follow you on social media? I think that your TikTok is amazing, so you should be telling people your TikTok.
No pressure. So you know what? I'd almost have to double check. I think it's just Maddy Poplett on TikTok.
I will
lurk
put
so
the
much,
link below this
but I
video.
will post soon. We're moving to a new apartment, so I'm going to try to post some stuff. And on Instagram, it is Maddy Poplett, and that is what I use most of the time. My Twitter is private because I got a fancy job, and I want it to be only for those who already look at it. But I do accept all kinds of follow requests, and I like to pop in once in a while. But yeah, it's a time sucker, and so is TikTok. And lately, I've just chosen TikTok, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
Never would have thought I would say that a year ago, but here I am.
And now, why
They
don't you
finally
tell the people what you do on TikTok?
Well, right now, I don't even know. I think what I'll probably
Yes,
be
you
doing,
do.
and what I have done so far, is
Uh-huh.
I'm sharing. So I have a online thrift store of thrifted home decor that I find. It is serving my shopping addiction because I can keep going and sell it if I don't want to keep it, and it's really great. And that's where it was born. That's the whole thing. So further on, I think I'm going to be sharing more of that stuff. It's just a fun hobby. Obviously, during COVID, all of us picked up something, and that was the one that I did. And then I will be sharing, to Eric's dismay, more cat content coming soon, folks. If that's what you like to consume, Instagram stories will have it, but TikTok will have it too.
Okay, I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm fine from afar, but I loved it. I loved like that your TikToks were like, look, I had these throw pillows, but I wanted to change the color of them. So I just got these replacement covers for so cheap. And
Oh,
now look, this whole area looks different. Like, I love it. And people want that
Hey,
information in 60 seconds.
I can kill an hour watching that content before I know it. So let me just add to the mix. Why not?
Do it.
love it.
Now, speaking of Maddy's, Nicole and I will be back here tomorrow with Maddy from last season.
That's
Yes.
exciting. She is awesome. I
Yes.
really
Yeah.
like her.
So a double dose of Maddy.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
Nolan.
Nicole and I will see you after the episode tomorrow night. Like I said, we will have a surprise Big Brother BB23 Big Brother episode or show for you guys on Friday that will not be live, but it will be a full show and you're all gonna love it.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna go
I'm
tell
excited.
Maddy about it right now.
Yes.
Nicole, final thoughts?
Oh man, final thoughts. Wow. Oh God, I'm nervous. You're just like me, and that's my final thought. Like I adore you, and this is like so weird, but like I don't know. I feel like we're like Canadian American doppelganger sisters
Yeah.
from other misters. And I wish you the
I love
best with
it.
the apartment and with TikTok. I think I'll
Thanks.
follow you on TikTok. I'm really excited. This was an absolute pleasure. I adore you.
You
Yay.
do. This is long overdue.
Yes, right?
It was. We will see all you guys tomorrow. Or look, I'll probably see all you later tonight because the new Among Us map is out and I feel like I'll be playing soon. Bye for now,
Oh.
everybody. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye.